Please rise and join the Lawrence Family JCC of San Diego's J Company in the singing of the national anthems of Canada, Israel, and the United States. Please welcome JCC Association's Board Chair, Paula Sidman.
Good evening. As chair of the JCCs of North America, I am delighted to welcome you to our 2014 Biennial. It's wonderful to see you here in sunny San Diego, where our time together promises to be productive, meaningful, and I hope snow-free. This biennial is where you, as leaders of your community, will have the opportunity to build and enhance your knowledge and your skills, whether it be through the informal exchange that you have with each other or through the sessions that provide learning opportunities for every level of involvement. We promise that you will return home with a new wealth of understanding and experiences and hopefully a whole bunch of new friends. We are thrilled to have JCC leadership joining us from around the world. In attendance, representatives are here from the United States, Canada, Israel, Mexico, Poland, Russia, Argentina, Germany, and Greece. I would like to take a moment to ask our guests from JCC Global, formerly known as the World Confederation of Jewish Community Centers, to stand. Would you please stand? When we met in Atlanta, we initiated a new JCC vision and statement of principles for the 21st century, based on 1,000 Jewish conversations that were held across the continent. I am very pleased that this statement is being widely used and truly believe it will provide the foundation for our mission for many years to come. Over the past 2 years, the JCC board has focused its work on 5 key priorities in order to best define today's JCC. This biennial will reflect the culmination of our collective work, and we look forward to presenting our recommendations and initiatives to you. So they are all designed to ensure that the JCC will have a positive and lasting impact on the future of the North American Jewish community. I would like to take a moment to thank the 2 Robins. Robin Frederick of Stamford, Connecticut, our biennial chair, and Robin Balin, our biennial director. We are deeply grateful for their hard work and leadership as they have been planning an incredibly exciting biennial. I also want to acknowledge both the JCCA Staff Steering Committee and the JCCA Board Committee. They met regularly to identify topics, speakers, and content for the biennial programming and have provided the direction for many of the innovations that will take place. I would like to express our special appreciation to David Wax and to the local hosts committee, together with Michael Cohen, the executive director of the San Diego JCC, for their gracious hospitality, for hosting the outstanding community event this Tuesday night, and for raising additional funds needed to host this biennial in San Diego. I have been truly honored to serve as chair of the JCC Association with Alan Finkelstein as president and CEO over the past 4 years. I've witnessed firsthand the depth of his tireless commitment and the passion he holds for the agency and the JCC movement as a whole. It is with mixed emotion that I now announce that Alan will be retiring at the end of this year after an extraordinary era of vision and growth under his leadership. I know that Alan is very much looking forward to the next chapter of his life, and I invite you to join me in wishing him congratulations and the very best for his future. I think he's going to kill me. Enjoy yourselves. I encourage you to take advantage of as many sessions as you can and to meet other leaders from around the country and around the world, to share common interests and learn from one another. It's my privilege to introduce our chair, Robin Frederick.
Thank you, Paula, and welcome to this amazing city, San Diego. It's so wonderful to see all of you here as part of the JCC's of North American Biennial. You're about to experience an amazing opportunity for learning, seeing old friends, and making new ones. The Biennial Committee has listened to the recommendations from your JCCs and past surveys, and we've incorporated exciting new elements into the program and into the schedule. Even the Shabbat experience was a new addition. The various track and learning sessions and seminars will present new and innovative deliverables to you, excuse me, to enhance your JCC. These seminars delve into a wide variety of subjects that you as JCC leaders deal with on a day-to-day basis. This year, our theme is building connections, and each of our plenary sessions is tied into the theme of Jewish values, welcoming guests, connecting with Israel and Judaism, honor and respect, and we're all responsible for one another. We have quite a lineup of presenters. Please take some time to get to know about them in your program book and in the Biennial app. You'll see a number of uniformed people throughout the Biennial. These are Jewish chaplains and military lay leaders from the United States Armed Forces. As has become tradition, the Jewish Welfare Board, JWB Jewish Chaplains Council, is again holding its conference in partnership with the Biennial. The chaplains will participate in many of our sessions as well as hold their own seminars. Joining them as honored guests will be senior leaders of the Army, Navy, Air Force, and VA Chaplain Corps. I ask them to please rise and please join me in thanking these men and women for the incredible work they do to protect our nation's security, and they also bring a vital role in bringing Judaism to our armed forces. Please be sure to introduce yourselves to them, say hello, and of course, thank them for the amazing work that they do. I hope you've all received your program book or app and you've reviewed it to discover all of the tracks and events offered over the next few days. From early morning workouts to the hundreds of sessions to so many opportunities for formal, informal mixing, mingling, and experiencing what San Diego has to offer. We guarantee that you're going to be enriched and energized. We've created a biennial app to make your planning easier. The instructions to download it, which are a little bit complicated if you don't read them, are on page 4 of the program book, and you'll be able to download your selected schedule right to your smartphone. You can also tweet about the biennial from the app. Our hashtag is #JCCBiennial. Creating and successfully implementing a complex event like this biennial is a huge amount of work. I am really grateful for the efforts of a superb board committee and host committee and our outstanding professional staff, both here in San Diego and at the JCC Association. I want to acknowledge the leadership and work of all of our staff from the JCC Association for their tireless work and efforts in planning and coordinating this biennial. I'd like to now call on the biennial chair from San Diego, our board member and my friend, David Wax.
Good evening. Welcome to America's finest city. On behalf of the Lawrence Family Jewish Community Center, Jacobs Family Campus, our board of directors, and our professional staff, under the leadership of our president, Larry Katz, and our executive director, Michael Cohen, it's my honor and pleasure to welcome all of you to beautiful San Diego. We are so excited to have the opportunity to share this enriching experience with you in our own backyard. We extend our hospitality and we wish you a fabulous stay. The Biennial Conference schedule is jam-packed with learning sessions, networking opportunities, and fabulous speakers. But it is also our hope that you will take some time to experience the best that our city has to offer. On Tuesday night, please be sure to join us at our special host community event aboard the USS Midway from 7 to 10 o'clock that evening. We have a fun-filled evening planned for you, including great food and a very special program that will honor our military, the presentation of the San Diego Torah for our troops, and the opportunity to explore the longest-serving naval aircraft carrier of the 20th century. A 360-degree panoramic view, restored aircraft to explore, and flight simulators to enthrall. And if any of you have to leave early for the airport, if you're going east and you've got those lovely red eyes, if you need to leave between 7:45 and 9:30 that night, we have a shuttle that will take you to the airport directly. Please let us know in advance if you plan on taking that. If you need to do so, we have a sign up for the shuttle at the hospitality desk here on this level. We have some incredible local volunteers who are eager to assist you throughout the biennial. They're here to answer any questions you may have and to help you in locating your session throughout the hotel conference rooms, recommending restaurants to you, or providing different activities for you to enjoy here with us. And obviously you've probably seen them. They're in those very, very bright green t-shirts. And you'll find them throughout the hotel and also at the hospitality desk outside on this floor, Sapphire Level 4. If there's anything we can do to help make your visit more enjoyable, please let any of us and our volunteers know. And at this time, I would like to acknowledge those who made efforts as our host community possible. First and very foremost, a very special thank you to all of our local generous donors, including San Diego's Jewish Community Foundation and the Jewish Federation for their generosity and continued partnership. Our heartfelt appreciation goes out to Melissa Garfield Bartell, who is the host community event chair for the USS Midway event, Gail Blatt and Merrill Flam, who are our volunteer co-chairs, Phil Ginsberg, who is our security chair, and to Gary Jacobs, Larry Katz, and our Lawrence Family JCC professional staff. They've worked very, very hard, hand in hand with the Biennial Committee and the JCC Association professional staff to make this biennial here in San Diego reality. We cannot thank you all enough. So again, welcome to our beautiful city. I hope you have a wonderful experience building connections here in San Diego through our JCC movement. We look forward to experiencing this special conference with all of you. Thank you.
Please welcome the President and CEO of JCC Association, Alan Finkelstein.
Not that long ago, our movement and the world lost a very special friend and role model, Ann Heyman. A wife, mother, pioneering philanthropist and social justice activist who died in a tragic horseback riding accident. Ann's name is synonymous with Agahauza Shalom, a youth village for victims of the Rwanda genocide, modeled after Yamin Ord, a unique and special place in Israel where many of us have been. For Ann and her husband, Seth Marin, who's with us tonight, the importance of working with Jewish youth and focusing on the continuity of the Jewish people was high on their agenda. Ann and Seth became involved with JCC Association several years ago by helping to create and endow the Marantine Fellows, a program which trains and mentors staff that work with our JCCA kids across the continent. It was always a unique time when Ann came to meet with the fellows. At one memorable meeting, Seth was called out for an interview, and the group said, "Wow, we have Ann all to ourselves." Her passion, her enthusiasm, her ability to connect with these young professionals was amazing to watch. As with everything that Ann did, she did it with incredible passion, and she shared that zeal and energy with so many organizations and people. She instilled in them a true sense of what it means to live Jewish values at the core. What better way is there to remember Ann than in her own words?
Hello, my name is Ann Heyman, and I'm the founder of the Agahozo Shalom Youth Village in Rwanda.
I look at these kids, and as a Jewish woman, I say 60 years ago, those could have been my kids that were left devastated.
From the minute you wake up in the morning to the minute you go to sleep at night, the way we talk to each other, the way we interact with each other, it's to create an atmosphere, a world in which we think about repair, we think about making things good for everybody else around us.
Don't wait for change to happen. As Gandhi said, be the change you want to see. Don't wait for opportunity to find you. You make your own opportunities in life. You have to actively seek them out. Each and every one of you is special, and each and every one of you has a lot to offer the world. Make a difference in the lives of the people around you. Share what you have learned with people less fortunate. Help those who are in need. You exemplify core values. You will meet many that do not. Always stand up for what is right.
In terms of my greatest achievement, I mean, I would, nobody does anything alone in this world. So I certainly don't take credit for this village. I might take credit for having the idea, but many, many people have many, many ideas. And having an idea in and of itself doesn't accomplish anything. So if you ask me, in the broad concept, what my greatest achievement connected to Agahozo Shalom is, I think it's actually this, I have always told my children that you can be anything you want in life, you can do anything you want in life, you can achieve anything you want in life if you want it badly enough and you're willing to work hard. And I think many of us tell our kids that, and I'm not sure that many of us really believe that. And I think that the existence of this village is proof that one person with a good idea can really change the world. And if you have an idea that you think is a really good idea and you're committed to it, you can make it happen. And I think the people who know me and who have been touched by this village, and certainly for my own children, that's been a lesson that's been really an invaluable life lesson.
The whole goal is to be able to sit somewhere and look far and say, there's no limit to where I'm going. There before the grace of God, this could be any of us.
Many of you have asked how you can repay what you have received here. The only thing that I ask of each of you is that you pay it forward.
We'd like to invite you now to join us in a JCC-style tribute to Ann. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, we will build a world of kindness.
Yadadai, dai, 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 dai. Join me. Yadadai, dai, 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 dai. One more time. Yadadai, dai, 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 dai. Olam chesed yibaneh. Yadadai, dai, 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 dai. Olam chesed yibaneh. Yadadai, dai, 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 dai. Olam chesed yibaneh. chesed yibaneh. In English this time. I will build this world from love. And you will build this world from love. And if we build this world from love, then God will build this world from love. Back to the Hebrew. Olam chesed yibaneh. Olam chesed yibaneh.
Thank you, David. One of the highlights of my work is to present the Florence G. Heller Award every 2 years to an outstanding professional leader of our movement. The criteria for this award seek an exemplary pro and role model for contributions to our profession, to the local JCC, and the community. It recognizes contributions that enrich the totality and breadth of professional practice and knowledge. These words could easily have been written to describe my colleague, Alan Mann. It's about a body of work in Alan's career in New Jersey, New York, Boston, and at JCC Association, definitely representing a model of professional practice for all of us that's exemplary. In Mark Sokol's nomination of Alan for the award, he said the following: in Pirkei Avot, it says that the truly great ones get 3 things right. They raise many disciples, judge everyone with compassion and fairness, and build a fence around that which is most precious. If the formula is correct, then Alan has truly excelled at all of them. He hired, trained, retained, promoted, and personally helped develop the successful careers of hundreds, even thousands of pros. He did it with loyalty and patience, a strong ethical foundation, and an inimitable, I thought it said irritable, sense of humor. Generations of volunteer leaders who partnered with Alan to achieve great goals and dreams would absolutely proclaim that every minute of it was fun and rewarding, and even the experience of working together on the tough stuff was something they'll point to as a highlight in their careers. Of all the words available to describe Alan's character, the one that rises above all is integrity. For Alan, the work, the goal, the people who benefited from the program or service were always paramount. He has an incredible ability to put ego a distant second behind mission. And he taught so many professionals and volunteers on so many occasions how to be deliberate, not rush to judgment, and be thoughtful in making decisions that deeply impacted people's lives. He was also deeply respected by colleagues and partner agencies in Boston. They frequently sought his advice and respected his leadership. When Alan joined us at JCC Association, there was often confusion between the 3 Allens. I had no confusion because I spelled it correctly. But there was little doubt of who Alan was or what he stood for. Everyone on staff and in the field knew that he was a no-nonsense, highly competent, smart, and experienced executive who had one goal: to provide top service to our JCCs. He did so with an amazing sense of humor, a let's get to the point and not waste time mentality, and really a basic sense of good judgment and what is right. He and I debated a lot, sometimes rather passionately, but then could go out to lunch after. I can't understand to this day why he won't eat Asian food of any type, and our lunch options have broadened since he left. But back to the topic. He claimed that working at JCC Association ruined his already not-so-good golf game, telling me often that Tiger just doesn't play the same game. Alan transformed the way that JCC Association related to JCCs. He formed a team of experienced executives to be our primary consultants to execs and boards. He was the first director of the Mandel Center for Excellence, working with his key staff to enhance professional development and training, added benchmarking, information resources, and consultation services in marketing and financial resource development to JCCs. In Boston, he built and directed 2 JCCs, including the Leventhal Sidman JCC in Newton. How could I forget the name Sidman? The acquiring of Camp Kingswood, opening satellite preschools, daycare centers, senior lunch programs, signature programs, and many of the things that remain to this day. Alan's family, Janet, whose sense of humor definitely rivals Alan's, his daughter Stephanie and her husband Aaron, and Ariel and Adam, along with his 4 grandchildren, are the love of his life and the joy of his retirement. I'm delighted that we created an opportunity for a brief break in his now very relaxed life to present the Florence Heller Professional Award to Alan.
There he is.
No, don't stop.
You know, the photographers really control the pace, not anything else. Here you go.
Thank you, Alan. And thank you to Ron Lebo, who chaired the committee, and to the rest of the committee for this award. Some people from various parts of my career are now questioning your judgment, but I am not. I am grateful and honored to be mentioned in the same breath as the previous winners, all of whom I am old enough to have known. Although I have to admit, it's kind of odd for someone to get this award, for me to get this award, because as a young boy in grade school, I actually failed a spelling bee because I could not spell the word committee. I also want to congratulate the other individual award winners at this biennial: Vic Samuels, Harold Robinson, Jody Hirsch, and Senator Carl Levin. And I've had the privilege and joy of working with Vic, Harold, and Jody, and I can't imagine more worthy recipients. Senator Levin, I don't know you very well, but I do remember your great help with a sensitive military matter. Also, my congratulations to my great friend, Paula Sidman. Paula, one of the things I missed most, I think, about retiring when I did was having the chance to work with you again. Paula, as you know, is the outgoing chair, and I'm sure that you brought the same wisdom, practicality, and tough-mindedness to your work at JCC Association as you did to every endeavor in Boston. And to Steve Seiden, incoming chair, whom I also had the pleasure of working with closely. I know you will bring the same sense of vision and mission in meeting the challenges of the JCC Association that you did in Metro West New Jersey. And to my buddy Alan Finkelstein, I wish you the same happy and fulfilling retirement, you and Bonnie, that Janet and I have now. As a college senior many years ago, I was looking forward to going to graduate school and was searching for a scholarship. The youth director at my local synagogue suggested the Jewish Welfare Board, now JCC Association, now I guess a new name coming on soon. I got the scholarship. It came with a 2-year commitment to work at a JCC that turned into a 40-year career with JCCs and JCC Association. Are the current crop of scholarship recipients in the room? Where are you? Yes? No? They're here? Did I scare the hell out of you with a 40-year career? Okay. That 40-year career was interrupted only once with a brief stint in the Army National Guard, where I actually availed myself of JWB services at the time. I couldn't imagine a better way to spend my professional career. Where else do you see magic every day? The magic of a preschooler discovering the joys of the holidays. The magic of a special needs individual being appreciated for her abilities. The magic of a senior adult overcoming loneliness by engaging with the community. The magic of a family developing their own approach to being Jewish based on their needs and desires. The magic of being gently guided towards better fitness, sometimes not so gently. Or the magic of campers enjoying Israel experiences while living together as part of a community. We can all think of many examples of this magic, but the real trick is that this all occurs in one place, our JCCs, every day and with meaning, where we do strive to treat every individual as if they were created in the image of God. I see this every time I walk into my own JCC in Boston, and I was recently reminded of this in the way the JCC of Houston welcomed my daughter and her family when they relocated there. I cannot think of a more important mission to have inspired that college senior looking for some financial help. During that 40-year career, there's been only one person who stuck with me and inspired me the whole time, my wife, Janet. Our life together has been immeasurably wonderful. Also during that span, I've had the good fortune of working with many of you in this room and more not here. Thank you all for the work that you do to make JCCs so magical. To the volunteers who give so generously of your time and money and smarts, simply it could not happen without you. To the staff, if we've worked together, thank you for making me look so good over the years. And to all the staff, thank you for the hard day-to-day work of changing the lives of people, for the Gemilut Chasadim, the acts of loving kindness that you perform every day. You too deserve this award, but I'm going to keep it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our keynote presenter, Greg Lieberman, Chairman and CEO of Spark Networks.
Thank you very much. You know, it's amazing all Jews aren't bald. I say this because we're so good at pulling out our hair in anguish about some calamity facing our people. The latest cause for hair loss is the Pew study on American Jews that was released last October. Across the country, there was much hair pulling over the possibility that we were 1 or 2 generations from extinction. As the New York Times wrote in a lead story, the first major survey of American Jews in more than 10 years finds a significant rise in those who are not religious, marry outside the faith, and are not raising their children Jewish, resulting in rapid assimilation that is sweeping through every branch of Judaism except the Orthodox, unquote. And here's chapter and verse from another report on the Jewish condition. To be specific, chapter 1, verse 15 from the book of Exodus. It reads, "Then the king of Egypt spoke to the Hebrew midwives, and he said, when you are helping the Hebrew women to give birth and see them upon the birth stool, if it is a son, then you shall put him to death." In other words, the Pew study is nothing new. For some 3,500 years, Jews have dealt with existential threats. And yet, here we are. Is there a problem? There is. The real question is, what are we doing about it? How will our generation once again defy the odds and keep this improbable Jewish saga moving forward? Well, I don't want to put the entire burden on you, but it really is up to all of us. That's why our organization's names begin with the same letter. It is all about the J. Both JDate and the JCC were created to serve as Jewish portals that put out the welcome mat for members of the tribe. It is our shared mission to help people find meaningful ways to participate in the ongoing Jewish experience. I'd like to discuss how JDate is doing its part, but first I think it's important to tone down the sense of crisis fostered by the Pew Study. Yes, there are disconcerting trends toward assimilation and, more importantly, non-affiliation. Those too have been recurring themes in Jewish history, whenever we have experienced extended periods of freedom and acceptance. It was true in ancient Alexandria, and it's true in modern America. That is the price of leaving the shtetl. It is a good problem to have, a challenge, but certainly not a death sentence. The Pew Study itself actually provides plenty of encouraging news. It reports that 70% of Jews participated in a Seder during the past year, and 53% fasted for all or part of Yom Kippur. Those are conscious acts of commitment and are much more than merely being Jewish by eating bagels or watching Woody Allen films. Of particular interest to us at JDate is the study's finding that 96% of Jews married to Jews are raising their children as Jews by religion. Consequently, when JDate makes a match, it has strong implications for the next generation. As you can see, the Pew Study is not as dire as it has been billed. Kids of Jewish couples are choosing to be Jewish. But in many cases, it's a different kind of Jewish. They are choosing to be among the chosen. Jewish is their comfort zone, but it is for a wide range of reasons. It may be because of their bar or bat mitzvah, or because of Jewish summer camp, or because of a trip to Israel, or because of their friends, or because of the food, or just because. Our challenge is to connect with that vague affinity, build on it, and give it greater meaning. That is what we're striving to do at JDate. We are especially struck by one statistic in the Pew Study. It shows that beginning in 1999, the intermarriage rate, after growing steadily and dramatically for more than 50 years, has leveled off. Interestingly, something else happened in 1999. JDate started to become part of the culture. The website was launched in 1997 and started to gain critical mass over the next couple of years. Unfortunately for us, the Pew Study did not specifically investigate any possible relationship of JDate to the flattening of the intermarriage rate. But I'm not sure such a study is needed. The logic is pretty overwhelming. Just shy of 34,000 Jews marry other Jews every year. More than 8,000 of them meet their spouses on JDate. Yes, about 1/4 of Jewish marriages every year happen because of JDate. Of course, some of the people who got married through JDate would likely have found someone else Jewish to marry, but many others would not. So can it be said that JDate has halted the rise of Jewish intermarriage? Whether it's entirely responsible is impossible to tell, but there is no doubt that JDate has played a meaningful role. Beyond the raw numbers, there's plenty of anecdotal evidence to support that conclusion. Rabbi Jason Miller says that some 70% of the weddings he officiates involve couples who found each other on JDate. And he's not alone. That is consistent with what many other rabbis have told us. In an article, Rabbi Miller wrote, and I quote, "It doesn't matter if two well-matched individuals live across the ocean from each other or in neighboring Manhattan apartments. It's entirely possible that their paths will never cross. And that's where the magic of JDate comes in. How many of those couples might have married out of the Jewish faith were JDate not around to link them up?" End quote. But JDate's impact is more than just marriage numbers. It helps make Jewish part of the conversation. Let's face it, for a lot of Jewish 20-somethings who are not Orthodox, it just doesn't feel cool to talk about wanting to focus on dating just Jews. One of the great blessings of living in the United States is that we have a practically unprecedented freedom to to pursue anything and anyone we wish. If Joseph Schwartzbaum wants to ask Mary Gibson on a date, not only is he free to do so, but there's a good chance that Mary will say okay, although she might have trouble relating to Joe's tales of Jewish summer camp or stories about sitting at the kids' table during a Passover Seder. So with so many Mary Gibsons available, why should Joseph limit himself to girls like Sarah Scheinbaum? Well, the mere fact that JDate exists makes Joseph think about it. He sees the billboards and watches the TV ads. He's got a friend who just married a woman he met on JDate, and his sister's about to go on her second date with a JDater. Joe's intrigued by the no-risk excitement in exploring the JDate universe, which allows him to choose from more Jewish girls than all the non-Jews on campus. No risk and no limits. Pretty tempting. Joe may still date Mary, but he now knows he's making a choice. And if Mary doesn't work out, Jewish dating just might be something to try. Joseph Schwartzbaum is perfectly comfortable being Jewish, but he's not sure he wants to think Jewish. Well, even if he doesn't sign up, JDate has put the thought in his head. That brings me to the second letter of JCC, the C for community. That is really what Joe and the rest of us are looking for, a sense of belonging, a community. At JDate, that is our ultimate mission. Sure, we make meaningful connections, but in order to do that, we build community. Like all communities, ours is based on aligned interests and experiences. We start there, and then we go deeper. For example, we have a strong relationship with organizations ranging from the 92nd Street Y in New York to Wilshire Boulevard Temple in Los Angeles to, no surprise to any of you, JCCs across the country. We host a special event called Schmoozapalooza in Los Angeles for Jews on Christmas Eve. We have a rabbi discount program, which started as a response to a New Jersey rabbi who, like Rabbi Miller, saw that more than half of his marriages were thanks to JDate, and called to ask if we would sell him subscriptions in bulk for interested congregants. We hold success story dinners for couples who met on JDate. Here's a photo of the youngest couple that attended one. And here's a photo of the oldest couple that was sitting right across from them. Yes, that's Marvin and Lorraine, and they were 76 and 77 respectively. I never tire of hearing and reading our success stories. Each one is different, but there's a commonality in being a part of the shared JDate community. I mean, who can't get excited about success stories like these?
Debbie, I got a surprise for you. Everything that's going on right now, this has been planned for over 3 months. All of it was planned to get you here, right now, in Times Square with me, to deliver a very special message.
You are my heart. I couldn't imagine life without you. Will you marry me?
Yes. Oh my God.
The range of stories we hear from our community is extraordinary. One mother wrote us about how JDate was costing her a fortune because all 3 of her daughters met their matches on JDate. For one couple, it was love at first instant message, as they stayed up all night, IMing back and forth as soon as they met online. A 40-something woman not only met her beshert, but made a number of other enduring friendships through JDate's chat rooms. 2 divorcees met on JDate at 6:30 a.m. one February 15th, both of them upset they had just spent another Valentine's Day alone. A little over a year ago, I met them at one of our success story dinners. And recently, another story crossed my desk that I would really like to share with you. This is the story of Kim and Scott, and I'm reading Scott's words verbatim. All success stories on JDate are special. Mine, although a little different, has the same happy ending. It is truly amazing how things work out, and that meeting someone online can lead to happily ever after. I met Kim on January 4th, 2012, and we're getting married on July 6, 2014. We couldn't be happier. As someone living with cerebral palsy, I must walk with a cane for balance and strength. Dating was never easy. Meeting someone the old-fashioned way was not working. On first impression, people would not see past the canes and the disability. JDate gave me the opportunity to show people who I am before seeing my disability. It took me a long time to be comfortable enough to tell my potential dates about my disability. With Kim, this conversation came easy. The night before our date, she had already committed, so I figured she wouldn't cancel. I gathered the courage and texted her. I'm not sure if this came up, but I walk with a cane from a disability I was born with. Now it was the moment of truth. She responded right away with, I'm not sure if this came up, but I'm allergic to apples, bananas, seafood, nuts, carrots, and celery. At that point, comforted by her response, I replied, I guess we all have something. It ended up being the best first date either of us had ever been on, and we are so excited for our future together. Thank you, JDate. This stuff is emotional, it's real, and we enable it. Kim and Scott would not have met if it weren't for JDate. Almost certainly, neither would any of the others I've mentioned. That's why organizations like JDate and the JCC are so vitally important. We give people the ability to connect with each other and with Judaism in a way that simply wouldn't be possible if we weren't here. That is the community we're building, a community of connections that otherwise wouldn't be. The community is cross-generational and features a dazzling variety of members. It has just one common element. We're Jewish. A key metric for many online businesses is engagement. That typically refers to how often people come back to a website. If the site is a one-time curiosity, its engagement level is low, and its days may be numbered. If, like Facebook and YouTube, it becomes a regular stop for users, then the future is bright. JDate consistently scores high on engagement. Indeed, you might even say we use engagement to achieve the ultimate goal of engagement. And when our members and subscribers first become engaged with our site, they're often not as engaged with Judaism. For many, JDate becomes a primary connection to their religion and their culture, their community. For millennia, dating was a very efficient process. People tended to live in villages, and those villages had these. Yes, matchmakers. The matches were made, the dates were supervised, the marriages happened, babies were born. Very efficient, but not so romantic. Then in the 20th century, more and more people moved into cities. Matchmakers lost their jobs, and to a large extent, they were replaced by this, the telephone. That changed everything. Now, potential suitors needed only dial a few numbers to directly arrange their own dates. Good thing, right? Well, not so much. It became a very scary leap to pick up the phone and call someone you were interested in. Guys would feel tremendous anxiety over the possibility she might say no. That fear of rejection was so great that sometimes the call wasn't even made. Then, if the call was made and the date did happen, once the date was over, the guy was expected to call the girl again within a reasonable time, often 3 days. That was known as the 3-day rule, and it meant that the nerve-wracking phone calling process would have to begin all over again. A century after the telephone changed the rules of dating, the internet changed them once again. Online dating services brought back the matchmaker middleman, but instead of having to deal with an intrusive woman trying to negotiate a marriage with the girl down the street, you merely had to log onto your computer to be served up a potentially limitless number of matches who actually shared your interests. Singles could review those potentials at their leisure, screen out the ones who didn't seem right, and then interact through email without having to pick up the dreaded telephone to arrange a date. Now, in the 21st century, the dating landscape has shifted yet again. This is due to a remarkable development. The phone has become a mobile typewriter. This enables texting, which it turns out is a big deal for dating. So as you can see, the dating revolution is not over. It took thousands of years to go from matchmaker to telephone. It took just 100 years to go from telephone to computer. It took less than 10 years to go from desktop computer to mobile phone. And in another few years, the landscape will shift again. And it's our job to be at the intersection of where technology and dating meet. Many people view JDate as a technology company. I don't. I view it as a relationships-driven business that is enabled by technology. JDate leverages technology to solve a problem unique to our community. Our solution strengthens the Jewish community by connecting Jewish singles with other like-minded Jewish singles. And how strong is that connection? Let me give you just one measure. Needless to say, not every JDate marriage works out. On many occasions, after the divorce is final, we get contacted by one or both parties who tell us that they have come back to JDate to subscribe again. And then there's the constituency we enjoy beyond our subscribers. I'm talking about the people who often actually pay for the subscriptions. In many cases, those are funded by parents, grandparents, or as I mentioned earlier, even rabbis. They may not be direct members of the J-Date community, but they're another positive force. Of course, that is because they want grandchildren, great-grandchildren, or just more Jews. And when that happens, it is a real game changer. For many Jewish households, it is the children who become the drivers of Judaism. Once the kids come, people start lighting Shabbat candles. They join synagogues, they sign up for Jewish nursery schools, often at JCCs around the country, and they bond with other Jewish families. That is serious traditional community, and J-Date is the gateway. We may not have a 100% success rate, but that is the goal for every one of our subscribers. We use technology to help fulfill one of the oldest aspirations of our species. And at some point, not many years off, we will start to experience the most organic form of community building there is, as the first J-babies start signing up in search of their own digitally enabled beshert. In my now 6-year-old daughter's preschool class, there were a number of J-babies, and that's true of my 3-year-old son's class as well. It's humbling to realize that several of my kids' best friends would not exist but for J-Date. Plus, it doesn't get much better than seeing future consumers literally bred with brand awareness. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I have to admit that I did not meet my wife on J-Date. Nevertheless, I'm living what you might call the J-Date afterlife. My kids are making me more Jewish. I'm an active member of a congregation. I'm increasingly involved in my Jewish community. It has gotten to the point where, as I'm sure is the case for many of you, it isn't all that easy to distinguish between my day job and my home life. All of it interrelates, and all of it is very important to me. To help keep the J-Date community growing and vital, we just launched a new branding campaign called Get Chosen. As the name implies, the campaign is to some extent one big in-joke. Jews understand the double entendre of the Get Chosen slogan. Many others do not. The ads are designed without regard to whether they will leave non-tribe members scratching their heads. Take a look. These ads run counter to one of the basic tenets of marketing, which is to appeal to the widest possible audience. Instead, they're going to make a lot of people feel left out. But that's okay. All communities aren't for everyone. That's why they're communities. They're based on a shared affinity, a feeling of being part of a club. Our traditional success story-based marketing campaigns are terrific. The stories are real, they're emotional, and they're inspiring. But they also represent an approach that is similar to what other dating sites may attempt to do. To highlight what makes us unique, we needed to have our own identity. We needed to not be afraid to be different. That doesn't just apply to J-Date. It applies to all of us who work in the Jewish community building realm. We need to do a better job of identifying our shared affinity and then proudly projecting and building upon it. And that brings me to the third letter of JCC, the C for center. That is the final element that is required to prove the dire interpretations of the Pew study wrong. We need centers, and we need to be centered. For 2,000 years, Jewish life has been centered around the synagogue. And let's be clear, synagogues, fortunately, are not going away. In fact, my own synagogue, Wilshire Boulevard Temple, is currently undertaking a multi-million-dollar expansion to strengthen its role in the LA Jewish community. But synagogues alone are no longer enough. We need other places where the unaffiliated can affiliate. To some extent, that is a role that J-Date plays, and it is certainly what the JCC does. You provide the places and the programs for so many people who know they're Jewish, but they just don't exactly know why. Just as people may sign up for J-Date because of a vague sense they want to date other Jews, people go to JCCs because they want to play basketball or take an art class or bring their child to a great preschool. Once they show up, it is our job to add layers of meaning. That is our challenge in 21st century America. But really, it is as old as Abraham. It is who we are, as each generation needs to find contemporary relevance in our ancient legacy. Looking ahead, decades from now, I hope to have adult grandchildren. And perhaps one day they will come to me to tell me about some new alarming study detailing how American Judaism is in terrible jeopardy. I look forward to that day. That will mean they care, and it will mean we will go on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg. That was really terrific. I never really thought about the connection between JDate and JCCs before, but it really is all about building connections, our theme for this biennial. And as the mother of two 20-something daughters, you make me realize, actually, you make me first feel better about their chance of helping with the continuity of the Jewish people, but you also make me realize that I should probably become one of those meddling Jewish mothers and get them each a subscription. That was a fabulous start to what I know is going to be a full week of learning. I have a very special presentation next for the biennial honorees, but before I have the pleasure of making that presentation, I just have a few announcements for you. Tomorrow morning, we're going to begin with a few breakfast meetings, and at 9 a.m., Size of City sessions, which are wonderful opportunities to share with like-sized communities. At 11 a.m., we come together for another plenary session. Our second keynote, Ron Wolfson, who's the author of Relational Judaism, and he's going to talk also about building connections. Alan Finkelstein at that plenary will give the president's address about how to measure a movement. For security reasons, we ask that everybody wear your badges at all times while participating at biennial events. Also, please let your voices be heard by answering our biennial plenary questions. You go to the app that I hope you will all figure out how to download, tap your plenary question icon in the app, and answer some short questions related to the themes of our plenaries. Now I have the distinct honor to recognize some very special people. Throughout the biennial, we'll be honoring and recognizing a variety of people in JCCs. However, tonight, we're going to celebrate this kavod with each of these individuals together, and I ask the following individuals to please join me on stage. Our current chair, Paula Sidman. Our incoming chair, Steve Seidman. The Frank L. Weil Award recipient, Vic Samuels. The Florence G. Heller Award recipient, Alan Mann. The Morton L. Mandel Award for Jewish Educational Leadership recipient, Jody Hirsch. The Jewish Military Award recipient, Rabbi Harold L. Robinson, Rear Admiral, U.S. Navy retired, Director, JWB Chaplains Council. And although they were not able to join us tonight, we are also honoring Morton Mandel on receiving the JCC Association Keter Torah, the Crown of a Good Name Award, and Senator Carl Levin on being the recipient of the Frank L. Weil Award for Distinguished Contribution to the Jewish Community Center Field. In addition to these esteemed individuals, we're also honoring the following groups, and I ask you to please rise. The 2014 Esther Leah Ritz JCC Emerging Leaders. And also the 2014 and 2015 JCC Maccabi Games and Arts Fest host communities, Boca Raton, Cherry Hill, Detroit, Dallas, Fort Lauderdale, and Milwaukee. Please rise if you're from those communities. I raise this glass in recognition and appreciation for the efforts and work that each of these people have put forward as individuals and as groups in maximizing the work of JCCs in building community. Yasher Koach, Toda Rabah, and L'chaim. In celebration of our honorees, I invite everyone to join us next door to the exhibit hall for a beautiful reception, a dessert reception, sponsored by the JCCs of Greater Boston, Evelyn Rubenstein, JCC of Houston, JCC of Metro West of West Orange, New Jersey, Harry and Rose Sampson Family, JCC of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and the JCC Association. The dessert reception will begin now. Make sure to have a complimentary drink from Israel's Aviv 613 Vodka, who has generally provided all of the vodka drinks at the Biennial. Enjoy.